Sorry about that. It tends to happen sometimes. You're trying to get things going. Gotta delete some stuff if you're ever going to have more room to do stuff. Anyway, yeah, so like I was saying, they're doing the entertainment song. Everyone's chorusing because there's no instruments. It's a late 90s, if I'm not mistaken. It was a late 90s rock song, because I remember my brother would listen to this thing every so often. It would be on the radio, and you'd kind of sing along to it. But some guy yelling, "Entertainment! Now, everybody!" Hey. So you had this song, whatever the hell it was called, or whatever it was about. Basically, it's something with "You'll entertain us." So everyone's singing this in chorus, which is weird. And then that's how the guy that plays Blackbeard comes out. And the guy playing Blackbeard is really an interesting character. He's an interesting character, and he's portrayed by a very good actor. Here's why. Okay. His acting is superb. He does things in a very kind of whimsical way a little bit. If you see it, he's like top quality. And he's capable of pulling off little tiny things here and there that are... I can't really explain it because there's just so many little things. Like when he's smoking the Pixium, and we see him come back into a younger age. We hear his knock at the door. He goes, "I told you not to bother me when I'm at the rejuvenation machine," or whatever. And then he kind of scrambles back to put on his beard and wig and stuff. And he's like, "Yes, what is it?" Like a kid being caught with his magazines or something. It's like, this shift in demeanor when answering the door. It's kind of funny. When he finally meets Pan and I gotta go this in more of a linear stuff. Okay, so we see him be strong-willed and spirited, and he gets put into slavery, and he finds this reasonable chunk of Pixium, and some guy steals it from him. And he says, "No, that was mine. I did it." But he said he found it first, so we have to trust him first because he said so. Because he said it first. So Pan gets accused of being a thief. He goes to, not trial, but he goes to the crucible or something. I don't know. He goes to the place where they take all the troublemakers, and there's 3 of them. And one's caught for stealing, and they knock him off to his doom. And then Pan says something to him, and the guy goes out there to confront him. And he says, Blackbeard says, "Think a happy thought." Turns around, and then it kicks him off the plank. He falls, and then he stops 10 feet in the air above the crowd. And he's like, "Oh, I can fly!" And he just falls flat on his face and he passes out. He wakes up in Blackbeard's quarters, and he has this little confrontation with him. When we see Blackbeard talk to this kid, he has this reservation, this is it. This is our moment, our date with destiny. We finally meet each other. Because it was a destiny. Okay, about the destiny thing. Okay, where this came from. See, this is what happens in history, folks. Where people keep saying, "Oh, this is destiny," where the son of the slain, the troubled, or whatever, comes back to get you. All that came from is back in history. Back in the day, when someone got invaded, what happened was that if the next generation wasn't killed off, they would grow up, become warriors, come back, and kill you. Hence the whole revenge thing. Because that's what happened. People get invaded, other people get invaded, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. And that's what happens. So this is nothing new. This isn't and it's prophesized. No, it's more of human nature and ideology that you would come back to avenge your fallen parents. It's to lead us. It's like you have to understand what it means and what it takes to be a leader. You cannot just say, oh yeah, and he's totally going to lead us because that's totally in his personality. Like, it's more in his personality to be revengeful than to be a leader. And you're wondering why they keep questioning, am I really this one? And I kind of don't care. I kind of want to go and beat the crap out of Blackbeard right now. So, yeah. So that's kind of more... If you see it, you'll understand. So the kid's in the mine. He befriends Hook, who's in his mid-20s or something like that, and is played by Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman in himself is a really competent actor. And I have no real qualms with this character. Oh, by the way, second thing I dislike, because there were two things I disliked since I saw the trailer, was that the later enemies were best buds when, in the beginning, and then something slowly drove them apart. And I'm like, Jesus. It sounds more like Phantom Menace more and more. The prophesized kid, and then they were best buds when they were younger, and then when time passed and they became mortal enemies. So, like, jeez. It's a cliche. I mean, come on. So, yeah, Hugh Jackman plays Hook well. Plays a disgruntled loner who wants to somewhat manipulate and use things to his advantage, but he's still like a good guy deep down. Yeah, he plays that well. Blah 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 blah. The one thing I kind of cringe at a little bit from time to time is his accent. He has this, what was it, Montana something? It's some sort of country accent. I can't remember which state it's from, but it's some accent, and it sounds kind of weird and a bit thick. Not forced, but a bit thick at times. And it's just really weird listening to him talk that way, because we're used to him because he's Canadian, right? And we're used to him playing a Canadian character, which is what Wolverine was, or is, and it's a little weird hearing this, like, Texan, Montana or something, some sort of country accent. And what are the words for this? I do not know. He's a good actor. He plays the character well. It's just a bit weird hearing that accent come out of him. So they become friends. He helps them escape. They get to the natives, with Tiger Lily being one of their best warriors, and them discovering he has the pan around his neck, because apparently that's what a pan is. Wish I would have known that a long time ago. Would have made Pan's Labyrinth a lot more easier to understand, because I kept wondering, who the hell's Pan? Because this is not a Disney film, so it's not Peter Pan, so who the heck is this wood guy anyway? It's like, the Pan is also the name of the creature. That's his creature's name. It's his race's name. But he's made of wood, so it doesn't make much sense. Whatever. I didn't make it, so whatever. So he hears about the thing. He hears about his mom being captive by Blackbeard, about his parentage, that his dad was a pixie prince, and he became human for one day because they last only a day. Okay. And then they gave birth, sent him away to Earth to hide him until he's of age so they can go and get him, or he can find his way back. Okay, how was he going to come back? Seriously, how was he going to come back? That wasn't really a whole lot of explained. I'm sorry. I do not understand this. he was sent away, and then they were going to get him, or he was going to find his way back. I don't understand. Maybe I forgot something. I don't know. But that just seems really thin, that thin part in the story right there for the plot. Okay, so after that, they get captured. Oh, right, sorry. They don't get captured yet. Right. They're there with the people. The people say, if it's really you, that you can fly within 3 days, or else we kill you. Oh, and by the way, people in this film, quote drop Peter Pan quotes, movies from various different movies and things in the main story throughout this film. It's like that elevator lift scene in Star Wars Rebels. They're saying these plans of his are getting worse all the time. It's like, why are you quoting Star Wars while you're in Star Wars before even New Hope? That doesn't make any sense. It's like you're doing that just for the fans. Rather needlessly. You're already in a Star Wars franchise. You don't really need to quote Star Wars to us. It just seems like you're going more out of your way just to put that in there. Much like this, it's like, and I'm like gripping every time they do it, it's like, every time it's like, don't, it's like, don't, you're not here to pander to the fans, don't do that, don't think it's taking you more out of the film, because it's reminding you that this is a Peter Pan franchise, or a film. But it's just, it's doing the opposite effect of what you want. So, the pirates find the natives, because the natives, Blackbeard believes that the natives will know where the biggest reservoir of Pixium is. And so he's been trying to find them. Eventually he finds them, and when the siege happens, I was met with the most G-rated violence I have ever seen in my life! I don't raise my voice. But in this instance, I certainly am. Why do you ask? Well, because death in this film is handled... How does it handle? It's handled creatively, but at the same time, it's like you wuss at the same time. Because death, when someone gets shot or stabbed in this film, these natives, when they get killed, they don't just drop dead or whatever. They explode in colored dust. Yes, you heard me right. When they are killed by either being stabbed or being shot, in that moment, they become colored dust. So their deaths aren't handled off-screen, or they're handled in a flash, and it cuts to something else, or it's handled where they're like on their last leg and they're dying a slow death or something. It happens right on screen, right in front of you, and it's like that. And the person turns to dust, and then the pirate scurries off to someone else to kill and capture. So yeah, simultaneously it's very creative, but simultaneously it's just incredibly just grating at the same time. It's brilliant, yet grating at the same time. Yes, you're able to show death in all its glory, but you're not able to show the gory side of it because of the color death, which is very creative. But you still have the concept of death, and the weight, and the consequence, and all that stuff that comes with death, without having to have the gore. So yeah, removing the gore is very creative in the way they did that, but at the same time it's also very grating, because they become colored dust, really? Like, I don't know, you couldn't make them turn... I don't know, it just seems kind of... It just bugs me a little. It just bugs me. And... and it's also ties in with how it all sits, like the island, how it all sits in the sky somehow with these little balls of water where fish and crocodiles swim in, somehow suspended right there, and there's water around the island, It's honestly, I had a better time believing it if it was more like the original Disney cartoon, honestly, because that actually, as fanciful as it is, feels a lot more legitimate and realistic in its fantasy-ness than the fact that it's the middle of the dang night. They go up to space and then somehow go forward-ish and wind up on the outskirts of Neverland, where suddenly it's morning. There, and Jupiter is right there where you can touch it. It's like, come on, the original Peter Pan movie was, all the other incarnations were a lot more better than this. It was just, it just bugged me. It bugged me, the creative process of how they transfer from Earth to Neverland. I don't know, maybe I'm being too picky. I don't know. It just bugs me. Anyway, they go through a lot of stuff. Pan finds out his mother's really dead through some sort of bubble thing by the mermaids. And by the way, the mermaids are, of course, topless, but their hair always stays over their chests, even when they're swirling and swindling around. And they're A-cup and stuff. It's a kid's film, so that's what happens. And it's like, again, it's not proper physics. It just doesn't work that way. And so we have the mermaid lagoon where the crocodile is. It's afraid of light for some reason. Pan's able to see memories of his mother and stuff, and how she died, and the truth, and he finally more accepts his destiny. Hook finds a ship that he can fix up so he can leave. He leaves. Pan stays with the girl. They find where the massive mountain of Pixium is. Blackbeard and his entire army are incredibly stealthy from staying about 10 feet behind these two in a cave without being noticed until he says, okay, now it's time for me to reveal myself. Hey, we're here, all of us, just let you know. It's like, right, I'm supposed to believe that? That none of them were capable of making a sound? Anyway, so, so they go inside the mountain cave thing. Oh, and Pan can't read unless it's fairy language. Then he can read it like a pro. It's like, really? Apparently, like in the beginning, like he had like some sort of autism going on, or stigmatism, or something that that messes with your concept of reading, or something like that in the beginning. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but apparently now he can like totally read fairy language. Apparently. If he had other traits to go in with this, that would have been a lot more like, okay, now we get it. It's like he's flying and he can read fairy language. Like, that's really it. It's like, a couple more extra powers would have been more interesting. But anyway, so, Hook is trying to find the fairy hive in order to kill it so he can get all the Pixium he wants. But wouldn't he need them in order to create more pixie dust or something? So, oh yeah, so there's no Pixie Hollow. They're not really humanoid in look and appearance, just really, really tiny. They're more bug-like. And one goes tink, 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 tink. It's like, oh, your name's Tinkerbell. I was like, well, there goes that continuity. I like this. I kind of am a fan of the Tinkerbell series a bit. It's pretty good. It has its moments. So, Hook comes back all again like Star Wars. He comes back like Han Solo and helps save everybody. They do battle, the ships crash, and then Pan learns how to fly or masters the concept of learning how to fly off screen. So when he comes back, he says, and I'm carrying Hook, and I can fly now, and totally know how to control it. So we never see any internal monologuing or anything in his mind to showcase how he's able to maintain it, like learning how to balance, you know, stuff like that. We just see, yeah, now he can. He's flying up. And he somehow controls the fairies to yank the pirates off the ship. That's it. They just yank them up. Wherever they go after that is anyone's guess. And then they fight Blackbeard. And then the ship crashes into one of the giant pillars of Pixium, crumbles, and then falls. So, currently Hollywood is in this mindset of I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm not gonna save you either mentality, which apparently everyone's like really okay with. It's like, really? You're just gonna let him fall to his doom? It's like, okay, back in the day or whatever, not too long ago, we'd have the concept of the villain tripping and falling on his own sword. You know, if the hero couldn't help it, he would save the bad guy. Now we're apparently a little bit more willing to just let him die. It's like, you know, at the time, this is why I really appreciate Doctor Who, because Doctor Who, at times, if he will defeat you, he will actually. One of the things I liked with the more current episodes, the Witch is Familiar episode, at that ending with Davros, spoiler alert, is that he says, I know what you're going to do, and I let you do that. And he let him do it, because he says he knew what it was going to do. It's like, Davros, you idiot. Like, Davros, you idiot, you forgot something there. Something very important. And basically, so he let him, in order for you to be defeated, I had to let you win. So that your mistake or your oversight will come back and bite you in the ass. Which is what I love. And I didn't see it coming, so it's really good. It's really good. Of how that actually occurs. But he counts 3, 2, and he starts dusting himself off. And Missy's there. He says, oh, I know that face. And it's like, well, you should know. You've been kicking your ass like how many times with that face? So yeah, she should know that face. And 1, and then all of a sudden you hear this loud boom, and it's like, what was that? I was on the eve of victory here. What happened? It's like, you forgot something. Anyway, so I highly recommend it. It's a really good signature Doctor Who Tappa 2-parter. This makes me love him even more. So Blackbeard supposedly fallen to his doom like so many villains, and the hero doesn't bat an eye at it. The heroes somehow get out of there, I guess. Might help with the fairies or pixies. They go back in this big celebration over the island. He goes back, picks up all the orphans, and they get on the ship, and the ship is sailing back to Neverland. And one of the friends from the beginning comes up, he says, well, isn't he a pirate? Well, he's not a pirate. Well, not yet. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And they're doing this. They're doing this. And they're getting a bit meta about it. And it's also kind of annoying. It's like, yes, we get it. He becomes Hook. They become enemies. Somehow. I don't know. The only way he could do that is if he lost Tiger Lily and Peter has something to do with it, so he can blame him for it. So yeah. So with all that meta-ing going on, and then the kicker is that as it sails away, on the back of the ship, it says, in neon lighting, nonetheless, it says, the Jolly Roger. It's very meta, and it's annoying, honestly. It's like very, very annoying. So that's like 3 meta, wink, wink, nudge, nudges in a row at the end of this movie. And weirdly enough, in the beginning of this film, when the bombings would take place, because this is the Second World War, there's one scene where the bombs are dropping, No. After that. When Pan gets kidnapped along with all the other kids, the planes show up to deal with it, and they report back what it is. And in the war room is staffed by a bunch of really hot blonde ladies. Yeah, I know, weird. And the head commander is called Mum. I don't know if that was on purpose or what. That's just actually what you call people or females. I'm not entirely sure why the call sign is exactly for that, or is that? But they report back that it's a ship, and then so they take the where they have the map and they put this little like figurines on there that shows like where stuff is, like where the enemy's at over the map. So they take off the ship logo icon chess piece thing, and when the captain reports back that it's a ship, they put back on the table. They put on the table a little miniature Spanish galleon ship, and it's like as if they witnessed this before and were kind of prepared for it, so they could replace the icon or whatever, the little thing. It's like, really? And so apparently this is not their first time tangoing with the Spanish galleons that would come at night for whatever malevolous purpose, because they don't know why they were there. But apparently it's to steal orphans for slave miners for Blackbeard's mines. Yeah, it's weird. So, is it a good children's film? Yes. It's a fun ride. Yes. Does it show a proper message? Well, oh yeah, by the way, Pan's mom kind of returns from the dead a little bit to say, I'm proud of you, son. You have my heart. It just gets a little too servicey, It's trying to. The term I believe is pander or play to or up to the children in the audience, and it's really going to annoy the older audience that has been around this all their lives and sees all this. It's a good adventure film. It has good action, it has good fighting, good choreography. Everything about it is good, except that the little bits here and there are kind of grating because it's all for the kids, for more of not really the fans. It's more for the kid fans than anything else. With these little bits of, like quote dropping and stuff. But it's a bit bright. Sun's right in my face, so yeah. So is it a good film? Yes. Is it a good, recommendation for kids? Well, yes. It shows you to be, how to be strong-ish, mostly. And, it shows a lot of principles and morals of adult and children dynamics. How adults act and how children act. Well, child, I guess. Who are exceptionally bright and gifted, apparently. I guess when you're bored silly, I guess you're willing to do anything for a little action. So it's pretty good. Take it as when stride. If you feel like this is your movie, I say try it. If you want something a little bit more or less G-rated filtering on your violence, then I guess you should probably go see something else. I guess, I don't know. But it is still a good film. I recommend it as still a good film. It's just, I don't know how you're going to take more of the details. But like I said, the movie itself is fine. The acting is fine. The quality is fine. It's just that weird, G-rated violence that just gets weird sometimes. And it gets a little meta, and its humor is kind of funny. It makes the kids laugh. I know it will make the kids laugh. And that's about it. I guess all there really is to say. So, in closing, I am your host, the Archivist, and I'm going to go see a good dozen more movies, because apparently a lot of cool stuff's coming out now. So until then, faithful viewer, see you at the movies. Bye.